A seismic shift has reverberated through the highest echelons of the British monarchy. As Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, once a prominent figure within the royal family, has been compelled to vacate his long-term residence at Royal Lodge, Windsor, for a more modest dwelling on the Sandringham estate. This dramatic relocation, confirmed by GB News, marks the culmination of a precipitous decline, transforming a royal prince from a resident of a sprawling 30-room mansion, where he enjoyed virtually rent-free living, into an individual now reportedly shunned by household staff at his new abode. The narrative of his departure, executed under the shroud of darkness, paints a stark picture of a once privileged life vocally altered by scandal and public opprobrium. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, formerly known as Prince Andrew, Duke of York, has endured what many observers are describing as an unprecedented fall from grace within contemporary royal history. His quiet exit from Royal Lodge, the extensive Windsor Great Park property he had called home for over a decade, occurred on a Monday night, specifically February 2, 2026. Reports from The Sun indicate this move from the vicinity of Windsor Castle places him within a property directly owned by His Majesty the King. Sources close to The Sun reveal the poignant reason for his nocturnal departure. The profound humiliation associated with the move was simply too overwhelming to face in daylight. One source articulated the sentiment plainly, stating that the act of leaving was so deeply embarrassing for him that it necessitated the cover of night. He had, in fact, harbored intentions of clinging to Royal Lodge for a longer period. But the recent deluge of Epstein files unequivocally signaled that his time there had run out. His new destination is Wood Farm Cottage, nestled within the Sandringham estate in Norfolk, a property notably familiar as the place where his late father, Prince Philip, spent a significant portion of his retirement years. Yet, upon Andrew's arrival, an astonishing reality awaited him, one that would have been unimaginable merely a few years prior. Staff members at Sandringham have reportedly been given explicit instructions that they are under no obligation to serve him if they experience discomfort in doing so. While Wood Farm Cottage is not envisioned as his permanent residence, serving instead as a temporary staging post or pit stop before his anticipated move to the widely discussed Marsh Farm. This directive speaks volumes. A source confided to The Sun that staff have been informed they are not required to serve or work for Andrew if they feel uneasy, and a considerable number have already declined, underscoring his current status as an absolute pariah. Consider the profound implications of such a scenario. A man who once stood second in line to the British throne now finds himself rejected by the very household staff, who have been granted official permission to simply withdraw their services. The convoluted trajectory leading to this profound humiliation spans many years. Andrew's journey began on February 19, 1960, with his birth at Buckingham Palace, the third child of Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip. His early life was marked by military service, including flying helicopters during the Falklands War, followed by his marriage to Sarah Ferguson in 1986, which produced two daughters, Beatrice and Eugenie. However, his long-standing friendship with Jeffrey Epstein, the convicted sex offender who died in custody in August 2019, has cast an enduring shadow over him for more than a decade, fundamentally shaping his current predicament. That shadow intensified into a complete eclipse in November 2019, when Andrew participated in what many regard as the most catastrophic interview in British royal history with BBC Newsnight. His conspicuous failure to articulate any empathy for Epstein's victims necessitated his immediate withdrawal from all royal duty. Buckingham Palace had, of course, announced in October 2025 that Andrew Mountbatten Windsor would be vacating Royal Lodge. thus forfeiting the lease under which he paid a nominal peppercorn rent. February 2020 saw an out-of-court settlement reached with Virginia Giuffre. Although the precise sum was never officially disclosed, the Daily Telegraph estimated the figure could have reached as high as $12 million. Giuffre's tragic passing on April 25, 2025, at the age of 41, did not halt the unfolding narrative. Her posthumously published memoir, Nobody's Girl, released in October 2025, ignited a fresh wave of scrutiny from which Andrew found no escape. This intensified scrutiny led to a pivotal moment on October 30, 2025, when King Charles formally divested his brother of every remaining title. The designations of Prince and Duke of York were rescinded, leaving him with nothing. Buckingham Palace issued a pointed statement, asserting the necessity of these censures. Despite Andrew's consistent denials of all allegations, the historical significance of this action cannot be overstated. The last instance of a British prince losing his title occurred over a century ago, underscoring the extraordinary nature of this royal decree. The refusal of royal staff to work for and remount Windsor following his move to Sandringham is not an isolated incident. It is intertwined with new allegations concerning sordid and degrading acts purportedly desired by the king's brother and his billionaire criminal associate. This backdrop set the stage for the highly anticipated release of the Epstein files. On January 30, 2026, the U.S. Department of Justice made public over 3.5 million pages of documents, alongside more than 180 Zorro images and 2 Zorro videos directly connected to Epstein. Buried within these extensive documents were photographs allegedly depicting Andrew on all fours over an unidentified woman, as well as email exchanges from 2010 between Epstein and an individual identified only as the Duke. In these messages, Epstein described a woman he intended to introduce as a 26-year-old Russian, whom he characterized as clever, beautiful, and trustworthy. A further significant allegation emerged when a lawyer informed the BBC that his client had been dispatched to the UK by Epstein in 2010 for a sexual encounter with Andrew at Royal Lodge, marking the first time an alleged Epstein survivor claimed such an encounter transpired at an actual royal residence. Thames Valley Police have since confirmed they are actively assessing this information. British royal expert Hilary Ford, which offered insights into the accelerated departure, explaining that the former Duke's persistent denials proved insufficient to prevent his expedited eviction. Andrew's initial departure had been planned for around Easter, but it was instead brought forward, occurring in the dead of night. This ousting serves as further confirmation of Andrew's drastically diminished status, effectively rendering him a persona non grata, with no foreseeable path to rehabilitation. The arrangement concerning Royal Lodge itself had long been a source of scandal. The 30 rooms, spread across 90 square feet, constituted the former home of the Queen Mother, Queen Elizabeth, who passed away there. In practical terms, Andrew paid virtually nothing for 2 decades for a property that could have commanded hundreds of thousands annually on the open market. This peppercorn rent scandal garnered sufficient public attention to trigger an official inquiry by the Public Accounts Committee. Pressure continues to mount from across the Atlantic. Prime Minister Keir Starmer has publicly urged Andrew to testify before the United States Congress. And U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance informed reporters that he is certainly open to appearing before American lawmakers, despite the absence of any legal mechanism to compel his attendance. Wood Farm Cottage will serve as Andrew's address until the renovations at Marsh Farm are completed, anticipated around Easter. The future of Sarah Ferguson, his former wife, remains uncertain. with her spokesperson merely stating that she is assessing a number of options currently. In recent days, the photograph of Andrew Mountbatten Windsor on all fours surfaced, followed swiftly by his brother, Prince Edward, being ambushed by a journalist and questioned about his feelings regarding the latest tranche of Epstein files. Prince Edward's response, "Our thoughts are with the victims," perhaps starkly illustrates the contrast between working members of the royal family and Andrew. When Virginia Giuffre's memoir reached bookshelves, her brother, Sky Roberts, offered a succinct yet incisive summary today. An ordinary American girl from an ordinary American family brought down a British prince. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor steadfastly maintains his denials of all allegations. Yet once Orse encapsulated his current reality with a single, potent word: pariah. The man who once graced state dinners and represented his nation on the international stage now finds himself evicted, stripped of every title, and rejected by the very individuals who would once have considered it an honor to attend to his needs. The humiliation, it seems, is far from its conclusion, marking a profound and enduring chapter in the annals of royal history.